There was a time in my life when I felt utterly lost. Darkness had settled over my heart, and I could no longer see a way forward. I had lost my job, my relationships were in turmoil, and I struggled with deep depression. Each day felt like a battle, and I often wondered if life was even worth living. It seemed as if no one understood the depth of my pain. I tried to smile, tried to push through, but inside, I was broken beyond words. One night, as I sat alone in my apartment, overwhelmed by hopelessness, I reached a breaking point. Tears streamed down my face as I cried out, "God, if you're real, I need you now. I can't do this anymore." I had never been so desperate, never felt so empty. It was a plea from the depths of my soul, an acknowledgement that I could not carry the weight of my burdens alone. In that moment, something incredible happened. A peace I couldn't explain washed over me. It wasn't loud or dramatic, but it was undeniable. It was as if a gentle voice whispered in my heart, "You are not alone. I am with you." I felt warmth surround me, a presence that soothed my weary spirit. It was as though God Himself had stepped into my darkness, lifting the heavy chains that had bound me for so long. From that day forward, my life began to change. I started reading the Bible, finding comfort in verses that spoke directly to my heart. Jeremiah 29:11 became my lifeline, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." I held onto those words, believing that God had a purpose for my life even when I couldn't see it. Slowly, I began to rebuild. I found a church that welcomed me with open arms. I met people who prayed for me, encouraged me, and reminded me that God's love is unconditional. Doors that had once been shut in my face began to open. I found a new job, one that not only provided for me but also gave me a sense of fulfillment. Relationships that had been broken started to mend. My heart, once so heavy, felt lighter as I surrendered my pain to God. Looking back, I know without a doubt that God saved my life. He pulled me out of the pit of despair and set my feet on solid ground. The journey wasn't always easy, but His faithfulness never wavered. I am living proof that no matter how far we fall, God's grace is always greater. If He could rescue me from the depths of my sorrow, He can do the same for anyone who calls upon His name. Today, I share my story with others, hoping to be a beacon of hope for those who feel lost. If you're struggling, if you feel like there's no way out, I want you to know that God sees you. He loves you. He has a plan for you. No matter how dark things may seem, His light can break through. Call on Him, and He will answer. Just as He saved my life, He can save yours too.